Hi, welcome back to Runeverse. I'm Andrew, and in this video I'm actually going to be taking a look at this historic magic list that I put together and have been really enjoying on MTG Arena. This is first day of Squirrel Sorcerer Class. Let's get started. So the first card that we built around is Sorcerer Class. It's blue and a red for a class enchantment from Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, and its level 1 ability when it enters the battlefield is you get to draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. So this is a Faithless Looting style effect. And this is going to be great because it's going to help us dig for cards. But what we're really playing it for is the level 2 ability. So if you play a blue and a red, it's going to level up to level 2, and you gain access to this ability that lets us tap our creatures for mana, blue or red, that can be used for spells. So it's important that there's a lot of restrictions on this mana. It's only blue or red. Our deck is also playing green, and we can't make green, which is going to be annoying. And we can only spend this mana on instant and sorcery spells. We're playing a lot of instants and sorceries, but sometimes we want to play a creature. Can't use this mana for that. So there are some restrictions, but it's worth it. So level 3 is also really important. If we are able to get 5 mana, we can level up to 3, and then whenever we cast an instant or sorcery spell, it's going to hit our opponent for damage equal to the number of spells we've cast so far this turn, which is really interesting because sometimes we'll be in the middle of a combo. We might not have 5 mana at the beginning of the turn, but over the course of the turn we might generate mana, be able to hit level 3 by paying 5, and then any instants and sorceries we cast after that are going to start hitting our opponent. And it's important that it will count instants and sorceries that were cast even before we were level 3. So if we cast 4 instants and sorceries, then we hit level 3, then we cast a 5th instant or sorcery for the turn, it's going to hit our opponent for 5. And then if we cast a 6th one, it'll hit for 6. Even though those first 4 spells were cast before we were level 3. So that's Sorcerer Class. It's what we built the deck around. Let's take a look next at, actually, how about Stormkiln Artist? So this one is a great powerhouse for the deck. The only downside, of course, is it's a 4 mana 2/2. It gets +1/+0 for each of our artifacts, which actually doesn't come up that much because we're not really attacking with it. We just want this Magecraft ability. Whenever we cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, we get a treasure. This is really nice, and it's in a weird way, it's in conflict with Sorcerer Class, where they don't directly synergize, but the rest of the deck synergizes with both of them. And if we do have both out, it tends to be very good for us. Let's take a look at, let's go ahead and look at Chatterfang. So this is a weird one. For the deck specifically, because it's kind of a squirrel deck, but it's also kind of not. So 3 mana 3/3, that's great. Sometimes we just attack with it, but that's not really what it's for. It has Forest Walk, also great, not really what it's for. It has an ability we can sacrifice squirrels and give a creature +X/-X, that's also great, not really what it's for. What we're doing is we're making squirrels whenever we make any other token. So let's say we have Stormkiln Artist, we cast an instant or sorcery, Stormkiln Artist triggers to give us a treasure. Chatterfang's going to also give us a squirrel, and if we have Sorcerer Class, that squirrel can tap for mana. And if we've cast First Day of Class, that squirrel will be able to tap for mana immediately because it will have haste. So First Day of Class is another key card of the deck. When we cast a lot of the games that we will win on the same turn that we cast a First Day of Class, because it allows us to go off and do so many powerful things. So cast First Day of Class is a great opener on an endgame turn when we're going to try to combo off. All the creature tokens that we make for the rest of the turn, or even regular creatures, they don't have to be tokens, but they're all going to have haste, and they're going to be able to tap for mana for Sorcerer Class right away. Or even if we don't have Sorcerer Class, sometimes you just play First Day of Class, make a bunch of squirrels, and attack with a bunch of 2/2s because of that +1/+1 counter. It's also great because it's instant or sorcery, so we can spend it with, or spend Sorcerer Class mana on casting it, and it's going to count for the Stormkiln Artist's Magecraft, and it's going to count towards Sorcerer Class's level 3. And the learn means we're going to get another instant or sorcery that basically does all those same things for the most part. So we've got a few options. The deck's not super built around, but if we do want First Day of Class, and the learn means we gain access to these other cards. So usually I'll get Environmental Sciences or Pest Summoning. I actually meant to add the Enchantment Destruction spell, the green one, but it's fine. So most of these I never grab. Usually it's Environmental Sciences, Pest Summoning, or occasionally Mascot Exhibition. But so let's take a look at a few other cards. So here we've got Strike It Rich and Chatter the Squirrel, which are doing very similar things in the deck, which is that they're cheap spells that, again, trigger all these other effects, and they make tokens, which again will work with Chatter of the Squirrel, or Chatterfang rather, and those tokens can make mana. So in the case of Strike It Rich, they just make mana because they're treasures. In the case of Chatter of the Squirrel, they make mana because if we have a Sorcerer Class active, we can tap them for mana. And they both have flashback, so Chatter of the Squirrel is cheaper for a flashback side, but basically we get to cast 2 spells off the same card. Opt is just a cheap filter spell. It's great on a combo turn because it's a cheap spell that can trigger a bunch of effects. And if we're setting up, if we're building in the building phase, it helps us find what we need. Think Twice is similar with the flashback. I'm looking forward to the Innistrad Midnight Hunt card Startle, which 2 mana, draw a card, and you get a Decayed Zombie, and the Decayed Zombie can then tap for mana as well. And so we have Expressive Iteration, just a great draw spell to help us find what we need. It's just super efficient. Chatterstorm is a really exciting card that can be very powerful. Sometimes it's like, oh, I just can't get quite enough squirrels, but other times it's just like tons of squirrels. And if we have cast First Day of Class and we cast Chatter of the Storm at the end of a chain of spells, we can get a ton of squirrels that can then tap for mana or have haste and attack. And the way Storm works, actually, they're all the Storm copies are copies, which works directly with Magecraft. So for every Storm count token, you get another treasure. So it can get crazy. I have 1 Mind's Desire, which is a great Storm card, but it costs 6. I just love this card, very nostalgic for it. I don't know if it's if it really earns its spot in the deck, but when you do get to pull it off, it is really fun. And then 1 Goblin Anarchomancer. Its cost reduction effect is really efficient. I'm kind of trying it out. I don't think I want more than 1, but it is pretty good, but it works kind of against, because it's not an instant or sorcery, it doesn't directly make tokens, its tokens can't attack. It's pretty good, but I'm sticking with 1 for now. So anyway, that's the deck. Let's get into some games. Alright, here we are in the first game, and our opening hand looks just fine. We don't have a Sorcerer Class, but we have a good mix of lands and spells. We got an Expressive Iteration. And let's go ahead and start with the island, and we can just opt right off the bat. End of the turn. Classy. They gain a life, puts us on the back foot. Opt, and we don't need another land right now. Really looking for a Sorcerer Class. So we have an Expressive Iteration, but I'm not going to cast it this turn, so I'm going to go ahead and play a tapped land. Cast it next turn. Chatterfang is nice, but we're not in a rush. At least we don't want to be in a rush. So I'm still going to Expressive Iteration here. And no lands. So what do we put in our hand? Might actually take the Anarchomancer here and put the Expressive Iteration back in the deck, and we'll exile Strike It Rich. It's not what we're hoping for, but we can pay 2 life and cast it, so at least we get to use the card at the cost of 2 life, and we can flash it back later. So next turn I might play Anarchomancer and Sorcerer Class. Our opponent might kill the Anarchomancer, but the other option would be Sorcerer Class and level it up. And I think the card we'd like to get sooner rather than later is a First Day of Class. Our opponent is playing an aggressive deck and going to put some pressure on us. Opt is good. Chatterfang can block, but they might kill it. This can get +1/+1 counters. They've already got 5 energy, so we're not going to block. They can pay 3 energy to double its power. So they need to pump it another way first, right? So I think I'm just going to let them do their damage, whatever they want to do. And I'm going to play... First I'm going to play Sorcerer Class. Red-green for an Archomancer afterward. We'll see what lands we draw, if any, before we decide what to play for the turn. So if I don't have to take 2 damage, I don't want to. Do have to take 2 damage though, and do I keep, what do I keep out of this? So I'm definitely keeping Stormkiln Artist and Chatterfang. I'm not a big fan of discarding either of the lands. So we're gonna have a land this turn, but we won't have one next turn if we discard it now. But I don't know if we need both Chatterstorms. Okay. So we do have to pay the 2 life, and we will play an Archimancer. Alright. So let's see if that survives and how much damage our opponent hits us for. We don't have a first day of class, so next turn if an Archimancer lives, we have the mana to cast Stormkiln Artist and Chatterfang, but that doesn't really get us very far. And I don't think we can win on our next turn, so hopefully we can live 2 more turns. If we're desperate, we can Chatterfang, opt, Chatterstorm, maybe even strike a Rich somewhere in there, and just make a bunch of tokens to block with. But then we pretty much emptied our hand at that point, so. Go ahead, do your worst. We might just be dead. Yep, that looks like we're going to be dead. Taking at least 12 damage. Easily 13. Make that 17. 21 damage. Nope, they're only going to deal 20. Saving their 2 energy. Alright, good game. Alright, I had to go, but I'm back. It's the next day, and it's the next game. So this hand looks perfectly fine to start out. We'll keep this for now. We can start out with an opt and a think twice. And we have a first day of class that we can kind of save until the right moment. Okay, so let's start with this island then. We'll go ahead and pass. This is green or blue, so we do need to make sure we find at least 1 green source. So we have that, which is good. I think we will pass on that for now. Okay, breeding pool. I'm going to go ahead and play Sulphur Falls. And we'll end of turn think twice. Second first day of class is not what we're necessarily excited for. But it does give us kind of 2 chances to combo off. Like if we need to play it early and fizzle off a little bit. As a third one, okay. Another land can attack. Okay, so sure. So what do we want to find? I think we definitely want to be able to flash back. Let's just go ahead and play this land for now. And we're going to flash back, think twice. So we're going to take 3. This trigger can load. There we go. And Grazilax, interesting. Okay, so some kind of blue aggro deck. It's going to let them draw a card. Well, at the very least we can play a squirrel that'll be a 2/2, which means we can block. Let's see what else we want. Pest summoning's not bad. We could even first day of class and make 2 2/2s. But we could do that next turn, if that's really what we want to do. You know what? I'm going to take the Pest Summoning now. And we'll go ahead and Chatter the Squirrel. This is not how we want our early game to go. We haven't seen a Sorcerer Class, or a Chatterfang, or a Stormkiln Artist. Okay, is this other creature or any? Any. Right, so we'll block Grazlax and make them recast it for 3. Oh, we can't block it. Can we not block it? We can block it. So my computer's lagging. Okay. That's fine. So use a trick. We get a Strike It Rich. And another Strike It Rich, sure. Alright, so now let's play this. I'm going to play it on green so that we can cast Pest Summoning. But I am going to cast First Day of Class first, so we're going to have 2 2/2s. Or I could even Chatter of the Squirrel, Flashback Chatter of the Squirrel for the same effect. And I'm going to get Mascot Exhibition. If we have to play a weird, normal game of Magic, we want to be able to play some bigger cards. Okay, so they didn't have a counter necessarily. Let's see if they have an end-of-turn flash creature. Or just removal, sure. No attacks. Yeah, we're under a lot of pressure. I feel like even if we draw a Sorcerer Class, we still need to level it up. And we need some kind of token generator. Go ahead and try to block again. Okay, so we got to keep our token. And we got another land. So we can make some squirrels. But they're not going to be 2/2s. I can't afford to play another First Day of Class. We are going to need that later. I almost just want to play 1 and save some of that for later. So we do need spells to cast on our combo turn. And next turn we can play Mascot Exhibition. So hopefully we slow down our opponent enough that a Mascot Exhibition will be able to clog things up. It's a weird game. We haven't pretty much drawn any combo-y cards. Imarith is not going to be particularly good for us. But we are at 11, which means we can get hit twice. Opt, sure. We do have an inkling to be able to block once. No attacks. If I were to draw Sorcerer Class, I think we have enough mana now. Alright, they bounce our creature that can't block the flyer. Okay with that. But if we drew Sorcerer Class and then drew 2 and hit Chatterfang, I would feel good about that. They didn't even attack with Imarith. What does this do? It blocks. That's fine. So we're going to go ahead and trade if we can. I think they're afraid of our tokens. That's the Sorcerer Class. We're down some creatures to tap for mana. We got a Stormkiln Artist, so we're gonna keep that. We're gonna keep the First Day of Class for sure. Let's do that. And then cast this. Yeah. I don't think we're going to be able to level up this turn. So, I don't think we're dead, but if we get to untap, I think we're in a pretty good spot, to be honest. All we have to do is level up. I think I will opt. Grazilax is fine. I almost wonder if I even block Imarith, because the Inkling is another creature we can tap for mana. And they're not even attacking. That is great for us, so we're just getting plenty of time to do what we want to do at this point. They haven't countered anything, so... Strike it rich. I'd rather get Chatterfang. Did not want Steam Vents or 2 Steam Vents. It's a little weird because we've already lesson learned for both of our main token spells as well. I'm gonna go ahead and pay 2 life. We're gonna try to go off here. Let's see what we can do. I don't know if I have enough. I'm not counting ahead. I'm just gonna do it. So I'm gonna do that early. Go ahead and cast First Day of Class. So I don't have to worry about green mana because of the Stormkiln Artist is making treasures. Anything that makes a token? Not really. We do have fewer cards, so maybe we take this. We're going to draw a couple cards. Take a token. Expressive Iterations, fine. I screwed myself up. I don't have 3 mana. Here for 4 and then 5. Then I'm going to be out of mana. Unless we can get a 1 mana spell. Dang. Yep, we're done. Wow. That is disappointing. So I assume... Are we dead? Yeah. Wow, that was so close! I feel like there's probably somewhere I messed up and could have done better. Not sure. Maybe if I had just cast a Strike It Rich earlier instead of saving it. We had a pretty awkward draw, but there you go. Alright, next game. We'll keep it. We got opt. We need to find some red mana. But we should be able to do that, right? So this can be green. We'll go ahead and play the tapped land first. I'd like to opt, but... we have to play it now or later, so we don't have a forest or an island in hand. Looks like our opponent's going to be aggressive. So again, we'll play this tapped land, and we can opt. We do have Stormkiln Artist and Chatterfang, which are great together. In fact, you don't even necessarily need Sorcerer Class to have a kind of fun combo-y turn with them, but we do need First Day of Class if we want to do that. Death Touch and Lifelink, and can get bigger. Okay. Looking for Sorcerer Class lands, not Strike It Rich. First Day of Class is good. Play a third land and play Chatterfang, and well, I could just play Think Twice instead, so that Chatterfang doesn't necessarily get killed. We want to make sure we hit a fourth land, at the very least. So I'm gonna play this, and on blue, I already have 2 green sources, and I'm gonna pass. I thought about playing Think Twice in the main phase to see if we find a tapped land and play that as a tapped land instead. But I'm going to do this for now. So they haven't shown a third land, which is interesting. I'm willing to take 3. Think Twice. Opt. But we tap both our blue, sure. And do I play Stormkiln Artist? Not to block. You know what? I am going to. They might have removal, but hopefully it doesn't cost only 2 mana. And we're not going to block. But I'd love to be able to untap, play Chatterfang, and opt. And then we get a squirrel and a treasure. Or maybe Strike It Rich, make a squirrel and a treasure. If we had a 5th land, we could actually do a lot next turn. So, how does this cost to activate? 3. Okay, so no blocks. We are going to lose at least 4 life, so that's going to get a counter. We're at 9. Phyrexian Arena is fine. So if we take all that damage, we're still at 3. So we can still wait another turn. But do I play Expressive Iteration? No, I want the Chatterfang down. Can't really go off here. Maybe we had another land. I'm gonna lead with the Strike It Rich. No, I'm gonna play Opt. I want to see if we get a land. We get a treasure and a squirrel. We don't need that. And there is a land. Play the land. Now what? So if I play First Day of Class, I get a treasure. And then I can use that treasure to cast Strike It Rich. Will give me another treasure and a squirrel with haste, and another treasure and another squirrel with haste. So I think we're actually set to go off right now. Off that land. So we're going to play this. I'm going to get Pest Summoning, and I'm optimistic. I think I'm going to be able to cast it. Cast Strike It Rich. This is the stuff. This is what we're here for. Oh, I forgot. Our squirrels have haste, but not tapping for mana. Now if we cast a spell... Oh, I was thinking we had Sorcerer Class. I can still Chatterstorm, though. I think this is good enough, so... kind of hilarious. Actually, with the combo of Chatterfang and Stormkiln Artist, that's a lot of squirrels. Yep, because the storm creates copies, and Stormkiln Artist triggers off of copies, which means it gives us treasures. And we now have 11, 12, 13 hasty squirrels. That's 26 damage. We could cast more, but that is lethal, so we won't BM our opponent. There you go. Not even with Sorcerer Class. Alright, it's first day of Squirrel Sorcerer Class time. Let's see if we can get another win or two. Keep that. A Narcomancer's good. We can play that on turn 2 and then turn 3 Expressive Iteration. Hopefully hit a third land. And we don't have anything we would cast then, but I think that's an okay start. A couple Think Twice after that to be able to find Hopefully Sorcerer Class. Our opponent's mulliganing a lot. They might just concede. That tends to be a trend. No, they're going to try it, so props to them. So this is a mountain, so our Rootbound Crag will be untapped next turn. And it makes green. Steam Vents makes red, so we'll be able to cast the Anarchomancer. Treasure Hunt. Alright. Oh, so they refilled their hand. They got a lot of lands in their deck. Could be some kind of combo. I don't know all the combos, but I know Treasure Hunt is a suspicious suspect. And we got a creature down. Like we're some kind of aggro deck. Oh, there you go. There's some action. So they probably weren't mulliganing normally. They were mulliganing for their combo. Let's see what they've got in store. Who can do their combo faster? So I'm going to cast Expressive Iteration. Maybe a Sorcerer Class or Chatterfang. Do we keep the Chatterstorm? Yeah, I'm going to keep the Chatterstorm in hand. Send the Expressive Iteration back. And we'll exile this pathway, which can make green, so we might just play a squirrel right now. We want to probably put some pressure on. Still don't have a Sorcerer Class, so we might have to race here and and with our hand, we might be able to make an army of squirrels in a couple turns. Probably not next turn. Oh, there you go. Okay. So we might not have that much longer. They're gonna make a bunch of zombies. Okay. So what can we do? This is an instant, so we can't attack into this. Because they can just make zombies. How many cards do they have? If they have 20 cards in hand, they have 25 cards in hand, so they have lethal zombies. We can make a squirrel. We can cast Stormkiln Artist, but then we don't get to do anything else. Oh no, we can because it's costs one less. What can we do? Alright, we need to play this. We need to be able to block. So we're going to cast this, and we need to keep red. And cast that now. Cast First Day of Class. Yeah, I don't know if we're really going to get much here. We can cast the Chatter of the Squirrel. And then we can make like 4 more squirrels. And these are pretty much just to block. So this is just to block. We have to do like a mini combo just to be able to block. Oh no, because we get all these treasures. How many treasures do we have? 4 treasures. Okay. So we might be able to think twice into more action. But if we spend 2 mana on a think twice... it'd be nice to cast the Stormkiln Artist, but we only have 1 after that, so we wouldn't be able to cast anything left in our hand. But if we had 2 Stormkiln Artists, every spell we cast is double. That's not what we're looking for. We really want another Chatterstorm. That's not what we're looking for. So we cast the Pest Summoning, and we'll have to pass the turn. We've got a small army of 7, 8 creatures, but they can make more, so we have to end our turn. Let's see if they're going to make 12 zombies at the end of our turn. And if they do, how many will they attack with? Zombies versus squirrels, the classic matchup. If we can keep our Stormkiln Artist and a Narcomancer alive, we've got a little bit of hope because we can cast another Stormkiln Artist, cast a couple Think Twices for 1 mana each effectively, because each Stormkiln Artist will pay us back in treasures. And we'll get our draw step on our 2 Think Twice activation, or casts, or draws, so you can see what we get off of that. Our opponent's going to be running out of cards, so this is their zombie army. Once they've spent their zombie army, they need another treasure hunt to refill. They've got 25 cards in their deck, I see. Okay. So 9 more cards, I can make 4 more, 13 zombies total. We can block 8 of them without blinking. So that means we take 5, which is 10 damage, so that's half our life total. But that trades for most of those zombies as well. But we're still going to be behind unless we can get some more action going on our next turn. So they have 12, okay. We can block 7 of them and trade. That'll leave them with 5. If we take 4 hits, they kept some cards, so those must not just be lands, those are spells. Could be more copies of Zombie Infestation, could be cycling lands. If it were Treasure Hunt, they'd probably cast it, so we gotta do all these trades. I'd love to keep them in case we drew Sorcerer Class. We could level it up and we just have tons of mana. I forgot the life gain from the pest, so we're a little bit better, but it's still a matter of there being a big army of zombies. I might actually keep this squirrel. It's not going to trade, so I'm going to keep it for just that purpose of making mana. Go to 10, then back to 12. So we're not dead. We have at least 2 more turns. Oh, just kidding. That was a lot. Oh, but they have no deck, so I think that might be it. Let's go ahead and play a mountain. Stormkiln Artist. I think we can just pass the turn, but I'm going to be greedy here. See how much we can do. Or my opponent might just concede if they get sick of watching us do stuff. Unless they've got something in their hand. I don't know. They got some kind of trick for staying alive here. Something I'm missing. Yeah, no. Okay. We got it. Our opponent killed themselves. There you go. It's one way to win. It's another first day of Squirrel Sorcerer Class. We got first day of class and Stormkiln Artist and a couple opt. I'd love to be able to find a Sorcerer Class. Oh, okay. Well, there we go. We found it. So we got a couple Sulfur Falls. We'll start with that. We'll opt on the second turn. Actually, no, we can't. All our lands are tapped, so that's fine. Our opponent's going to be milling us, so we'll get a bunch of our flashback cards. It's not really what we're looking for, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pay 2 life against a mill deck and get this Sorcerer Class going. So we don't need both these lands, probably. Rootbound Crag, we now do have a mountain and a forest. Kind of like the blue and red, but we got plenty of red, so I'll pitch the Steam Vents and one of the opts. Opt's really nice. You know what, I think we can find a 4th land. How greedy am I? No, we don't need to strike it rich. I'll keep my lands. I'm going to make sure we hit 4. We would like to cast the Stormkiln Artist ASAP. Okay, 3rd land, and that's it. So I'm going to play tapped land. Yeah, and level up. Take it slow. See what kind of end of turn action our opponent has. Give me a flashback card. They're milling themselves. Target player. Okay. So they're milling their own jumpstart cards. What else? Arclight Phoenix. Cast 3 or more instant or sorcerers. Okay. This is actually an aggro deck of some kind. They're not aggroing us yet. So let's get this Stormkiln Artist down. They might have burn spells, but they haven't played any red yet, so looks like they're just playing blue. It will be sad if they counter this Stormkiln Artist. We do need it. Okay. We might have it next turn if that stays in play. Stormkiln Artist is very powerful. So we'd start out by leveling up Sorcerer. No, we're already level 2. Yeah, so that's great. First day of class leaves us with 3 mana, but gives us a treasure. We can then get Pest Summoning, cast a couple opts, have tons of treasures. I'm not even paying attention to what my opponent's doing. I'm trying to plan out if I can win on my turn. I'm feeling good about it. I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like a lot. So, I feel better if our opponent taps out, which they did, which I think is going to bring back their Phoenix. So they're going to attack us for 3 and have 2 blockers. And I am okay with that. Unless they mill multiple Phoenixes. But 4 Phoenixes, that's fine. So we take 12. Go to 3. You got it. So I hope I was right about winning this turn, because we have to. So I guess I have to level. Oh, and I'm already level 2. Man, I keep thinking I have to level up, but I already did. Feels so good. Feels so good. So we cast this. And this is the deck. This is what we've been trying to do the whole time. Even when we won, this is what we wanted. Unless I screw it up somehow, that'll be embarrassing. But I think we're doing all right. You just have to pay attention to when we have enough mana to afford to level up Sorcerer Class again. So right now we have 6. So I think we might actually have enough. No, let's go ahead and opt. Or let's pass summoning. So we spent 3 and we get 3 back. 3, 4, 5. I don't know, maybe we can't afford it. Well, for sure, once we Chatterstorm, we can do it, but... Alright, so let's Chatterstorm. Yeah, I think we're good now. So now we're going to level up with treasures. We're going to make tons of treasures, tons of squirrels. Opponent might concede at any moment. But hopefully they let us shoot them with Sorcerer Class a couple times. Because we got 3 more spell casts coming. Not sure why my timeout's getting used. I'm not even doing anything. So we need to pay 5 mana. I'm going to keep my... I think the auto tapper would tap my squirrels, so just in case we want to attack with them, I'm going to manually sack these treasures. Hopefully I don't get timed out. Shoot my opponent for a bunch of damage. 8 damage. 9 damage. And they concede. But we would have then shot them for 10 damage to try the squirrel, and there you go. That's the Sorcerer Class. That's the turn we're looking for. So even when we won a couple of other times, those were great. But this is the deck in action. This is what we're meant to do. Thanks for watching, and try out some squirrels.